Bien, vamos a empezar la legendaria de Escoffier, que es un personaje nuevo. Y vamos a ver qué nos depara. Ve a la entrada del bistró Debord. Delicatessen se llama. Bueno. La forma de la fama. De acuerdo. Ahí está Navia. Veamos qué nos comenta. Espero que esté doblado casi todo. ¿A qué viene tanto misterio?
I don't want to see you back here until you're ready to wake up and start doing things properly. Right now, you're a disgrace to my kitchen and to the Hotel de Boer name.
It was an accident.
I'm sorry, did you hear me asking for excuses?
No, I'll do better, I promise.
Why is she so aggressive? She won't even listen to what the poor girl has to say. Oh, hey, cut her some slack. You gotta at least hear her out.
Wait! Huh? Who do you think you are telling me? Wait a sec. Navia? So, you're bringing backup now. Suit yourself! You're still wasting your time!
Savannah, is this how you always treat your staff?
My staff is right. I'm the one in charge here now. And last time I checked, the Hotel de Boer doesn't take orders from the Spina di Rosula.
Of course. How you run your kitchen is none of our business. But when a member of your staff is so overworked he becomes gravely ill, that most definitely is our business.
Overworked? I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Fermont can't handle the job, then tough luck.
But Fermont can do the job, he just...
Monica, back inside, now!
Huh? But you said I shouldn't come back until...
Just do as you're told, and not another word out of you! Come on, we have work to do!
Wow, what a horrible person!
Sorry. Looks like I've dragged you into some drama again.
¿Quién era ella?
Her name is Savannah. She's the new head chef at Hotel de Boer. Ever since she took the job, she's been enforcing a brutal work regime. And one guy was so overworked, he collapsed from illness. He's been bedridden for days, and he can barely even talk properly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
At his family's request, the Spina di Rosula is trying to mediate on his behalf. We're not exactly making a ton of progress, as you saw. Savannah is adamant that Fermont's exhaustion and illness have nothing to do with her or how she's been running her kitchen. Our next thought was to talk to the other chefs at the restaurant and get a better idea of their working conditions. But with Savannah watching them like a hawk, no one has been willing to open up. And that's why I'm here, doing it the old-fashioned way. Camping out, watching, and waiting for an
Entonces
opportunity.
estaba esperando a que Savannah se marchara.
Oh, shoot! It all makes sense now. Sorry. Paimon should have thunk before she spoke.
Oh, no, not at all, Paimon. Honestly, the way she was laying into Monica, someone had to step in. And besides, I don't really think I'm built for espionage.
Savannah ahora está más alerta.
Yeah, meaning it's gonna be all the more difficult to get the inside scoop now.
Paimon will join you, cause this is kinda all Paimon's
Pues yo
fault.
también voy.
Guys, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. That said, if you were planning to visit the Fleuve Cendre anyway, let me take you out for a meal. A really famous chef just joined the Spina di Rosula's tavern. Her name is...
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to apologize for the scene you witnessed just now. We shouldn't subject our customers to that. This is a small token from us. It's some candy from Monica. She asked me to make sure it was delivered into your hands.
Monica's the one apologizing? Huh. Clearly Savannah is the one who owes an apology.
Our head chef has been a little highly strung lately. Sorry for everything.
Paimon, no se lo pongas más difícil.
All right. Since there's candy, Paimon will drop it.
Thank you for understanding. We'll make sure to pass your feedback on to Miss Savannah.
A little highly strung, huh?
Supongo que con Savannah en la cocina.
Paimon doesn't get it. How did someone like her even become head chef?
Well, according to Fama's family, she hasn't always been like this. But that's a story for another time. Let's try this candy.
Tú y los dulces.
Oh, Paimon totally gets it. Come on, dig in. Huh? Hold on, there's something written on the wrapper. Find Escoffier.
Pues así empieza. Escoffier. A ver cuándo aparece. Se supone que es la protagonista.
Escoffier? Could this mean...
Huh? You know that name, Nadia?
Yeah. Let's stick to the plan and go back to the Fleuve Cendre for now. That's where we'll find Escoffier anyway.
De acuerdo, pues tenemos que ir al vado del río Ceniciento, que eso está justamente ahí.
So, who is this Escoffier?
Well, for starters, she used to be the head chef at the Hotel de Boer. But she recreated the legendary Gâteau de Boer and restored the restaurant back to its former glory. Safe to say, she's the most renowned head chef in the Hotel de Boer's history. After the culinary genius Modeste himself.
Gâteau de Boer? That's the super exclusive cake that they only sell a few slices a day, right? Wow. Why the heck would she let Savannah take her place?
Well, apparently, the Hotel de Boer was reported for a safety incident. Someone claims that the kitchen was adding an illegal substance to their menu. But none of the chefs had any idea how it could have gotten into the food. In the end, Escoffier decided that as head chef, she should take responsibility. And she was sent to the fortress of Meripede.
The fortress of Meripede?
Tampoco hace falta ponerse dramáticos.
Well, you're right. The quantity of the substance they found was fairly minimal. Even the guards believed the whole thing was probably just an accident. Escoffier didn't have to stay in the fortress for long, but still, by the time she returned, the role of head chef had already passed to Savannah.
So that's what happened. Paimon still thinks it's really unfair.
Even though Escoffier is no longer head chef at the hotel, she's still well respected by the staff. So, I'm guessing what Monica wants is for us to convince Escoffier to try and negotiate with Savannah on the staff's behalf.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Monica wants Escoffier to come back and kick Savannah out. It's simple. If the new head chef is stressing everyone out, then the solution is just get the old one back.
Well...
You thought cream of mushroom soup was ready to serve after 3.5 minutes on the stove. You'd have had more sense serving hot water with ice cubes. At least then you wouldn't have wasted all this perfectly good cream and mushroom. What do you say, Hilaire?
I'm sorry, Cream. I'm sorry, Mushroom.
As you can see, Escoffier is that kind of chef as well.
¿Cómo ha podido llegar tan lejos el bistró de Esbord? Estoy sin palabras.
You have to leave it on the heat for long enough to allow those flavors the chance to come out. Don't be fooled by the aroma when the water first starts to boil. Got it?
Yes, Chef.
Then go back and do it again. The customers are still waiting. Remember where you went wrong and don't repeat the same mistake twice.
Yes, Chef.
Excuse us, we're...
Waiting to be served? Sorry, we're pretty busy. I'm afraid you have to join the line.
Oh, no, we're not here to eat.
So you're not paying customers? Then I'm afraid the wait will be even longer.
It's hard to talk to Escoffier when she's in the zone. Let's take a seat. We can catch up while we wait.
Looks like the rush hour is finally over. Is it always this busy here?
These days, yes. I'd say business has tripled since Escoffier joined as temporary head chef.
¿No quiso volver al bistró de Bord?
Well, in her words, the Hotel de Boer doesn't need her anymore.
I guess I'll be heading off then.
Wait, take these home with you. We can't serve them now, and there's no sense in letting them go to waste.
Oh, thank you, Chef.
For what? Like I said, I just don't want them going to waste. Oh, and tell Fiamma to get well soon, so you're not running yourself ragged every single shift.
Fiamma. That's the second time we've heard that name.
He's the chef that fell ill from stress. Hilaire is his son. And with Mom stuck at home taking care of Dad, he decided to pick up some work to help pay the bills. Escoffier knows their situation, so she's been making some extra food every day for him to take home.
Hey, I heard that, Navia! I've told you before, no one's making extra food. Hilaire is making blunders in the kitchen, and I can't serve his failed dishes, so he might as well take them home.
Yeah, failed dishes that just so happen to be nutritionally complete every single time.
So you two must be the world-famous traveler and his companion, Paimon. Yes? Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, so you know us already. We'll skip the introduction then. We're here to talk about Savannah.
Dado que Hilary está trabajando para ti, debes estar al tanto de la situación con
I
Savannah.
certainly am. The Spina's headquarters are right next to the tavern. And I've lost count of the number of times Navi has come to pester me about it. But I don't work for the Hotel de Boer anymore. And being ex-head chef doesn't give me the right to interfere with that business. Besides, I'm the one who persuaded Savannah to take the job in the first place.
What?
Well, she was a much gentler person back then. A little timid even. She wasn't at all confident that she was the right fit for the role.
That's hard to believe. Are we definitely talking about the same Savannah here?
Honestly, I do wonder if she's just emulating me. I mean, I'm not the most pleasant head chef to be around either.
Al menos es consciente de ello.
Anyway, suffice to say that given the history between us, it'll be tricky for me to tell her she's doing her job wrong without coming across like a huge hypocrite. Fiamma and the others probably think that Savannah gets it all from me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Escoffier. Look at this note we got from Monica.
Le das el envoltorio de los dulces de Mónica.
Whatever shortcomings you feel you have, it looks like Monica still trusts you. As for the others, well, how can you know what they think unless you ask them?
Monica.
Plus, it's not like we're asking you to storm in there and raise hell. We're only in the initial phase of our investigation. All we're trying to do is get the other chefs to open up to us.
Oh, Monica. Oh, Monica!
Escoffier?
I can't believe her! Powdered sugar is supposed to be applied sparingly. Look at all that on the wrapper. It's thicker than the sole of my shoe. Unbelievable! I won't stand for this. She has to learn. Come on, we're going.
Wait, so now she's,
Bueno, nos da igual cuál sea el motivo. Está decidida a tener una conversación.
Let's go catch up to her. We don't want to keep her waiting.
Vale, pues... vuelve al bistró de Bord. Por lo tanto, volvamos allí. Vale, toca entrar, así que entramos.
Wait, she looks like... Is that Escoffier?
Escoffier's back? Yes, I've missed her cooking.
I was just saying, Hotel de Boer is nothing without her.
You can't match Escoffier's talent.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I messed up your order.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe the taste is a little off, but if you hadn't brought it up, I don't think I would have noticed.
But, please, you have to forgive me or Chef is gonna... Okay, I know. I'll kneel before you.
What the heck?
Monica! Can't you see that you're just making your customer feel more—
Escoffier?
If you want forgiveness, then do what any self-respecting chef would do. Make the dish again. And this time, get it right. You cannot go begging your customers to feel sorry for you.
Savannah said that I'm not allowed back in the kitchen until I've corrected my mistake. But if I can't go back into the kitchen, I can't do the dish over.
That's some backwards logic. How can you fix your mistake without being allowed to cook? If this is what Forma had to put up with.
We apologize for interrupting your meal, sir.
It's fine. With my layman's palate, it's not like I can tell the difference anyway. I was actually quite enjoying my meal until she appeared out of nowhere and started apologizing. Gave me a bit of a fright, to be honest.
Oh, well, it's because Chef Savannah tasted a bit of the leftover soup from my pot and then threw me out of the kitchen.
Gosh, that's pretty strict. Has she always been that way? I don't recall things being like this when Escoffier was head chef here.
I mean, Escoffier was strict too, but I think the difference is that her criticism was more constructive, so we all knew that it came from a good place. Chef Escoffier was hard on us because she truly wanted us to reach her level. But these days, whenever we make a mistake, we just get told to wake up, get your head in the game, or just do it again. And it's only gotten worse since word got out that Chef Escoffier had started working again in the Fleuve Cendre.
Monica, you don't need to call me chef. I'm not the boss here anymore.
Yeah, but through no fault of your own. That banquet was a huge event, and so many staff were involved every step of the way. With so many moving parts, there's no way of knowing how that lumiline ended up in the food we served.
Lumiline? What's that?
A new drug from the Fontaine Research Institute, produced from an extract of the lumitoile. Apparently it sharpens the senses, so they used it to treat people with impaired responses to stimuli.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They found out you can use it as a flavor enhancer since it stimulates the taste buds. Makes things pretty addictive.
They also found that overuse can have mood-altering effects, and even lead to nerve damage. So it quickly ended up on the guard's list of controlled substances. Unfortunately, however, some food products containing the additive had already made it to the market by the time the guards banned it from the restaurant industry.
Everyone knows that in all likelihood, someone probably just purchased a batch of contaminated ingredients by mistake. But you took all the blame. We all know why. You just didn't want to see this turn into a place where tensions are constantly running high. And now look at you. A fry chef in the Fleuve Cendre.
What are you trying to say? Sure, the Spina's Tavern is no Hotel de Boer, but come on.
Oh, the Fleuve Cendre, you say? Great. That's where I'm dining from now on.
Monica, I'm very happy with my current job, and there's no changing the past. Besides, at the end of the day, I was the head chef, regardless of whose mistake it was. Ultimately, the responsibility lay with me.
If only Savannah was half the boss you were.
I'm sorry? Do you have a problem with my conduct as head chef?
No, chef.
So, you do remember who's boss? Escoffier? I thought you'd left this place for good. What are you doing back here?
What happened to you, Savannah? Why are you acting like this? When I turned this place over to you,
You made me the head chef and gave up your right to tell me how to do my job. You're not the boss here anymore, so stop acting like you own the place.
Whoa. Sounds like someone has a chip on her shoulder.
Tal vez debamos escondernos aquí por ahora.
Oh, Savannah! My God, have you grown a temper since I last saw you? Have you put even half the amount of energy into improving your cooking skills, or are you still using the Pluie Lotus as an off-brand markup, thinking
that's none of your business?
What happened to not storming in and raising hell?
Ho ho! I was not expecting to see something this spicy as soon as Escoffier returned.
Huh? Fan Asian?
Aye, miladies. Might I make a humble suggestion? Given that we have ourselves a tête-à-tête between chefs at the Hôtel de Bord, I dare say it would be de rigueur to settle this the traditional way.
The traditional way? That can only mean one thing.
Parece que nos espera una lección de historia.
That's right. I'm talking, of course, about the tradition established by Modeste himself.
According to legend, the founders of Hotel de Boer, Modeste and Savelli, used this method to resolve all of their disputes. Everything from petty arguments over next week's menu to disagreements over the strategic direction of the restaurant. The cooking contest would decide who had the final say.
Huh. It sounds like they had a lot of free time on their hands.
Ah, well, it might sound that way to us. But in fact, the cooking contest played an enormous role in motivating chefs to hone their skills. And indeed, the reintroduction of this institution in recent years has surely been instrumental in transforming the Hotel de Boer into the top-ranking restaurant in Fontaine.
Reintroduction? Someone brought it back? Who?
What say you, Escoffier? Surely you of all people won't back down from this challenge. It was you who put the rule in place, after all.
Eso pensaba, y tienes tu respuesta, Paimon.
Sure, I reinstated it, but I'm not a chef at Hotel de Boer anymore. Isn't this bending the rules a little?
I see no issue as long as both sides agree to the terms. We could simply treat it as an exhibition of sorts.
Exhibition. If we're going to battle it out, let's put it all on the line. If I lose, it's up to you what happens to me.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
But if you lose, you hand over the Codex de Boer to me.
What? The Codex de Boer?
El Códice de Boer.
Only the legendary handbook written by the original head chef Modeste. It contains all his secret recipes, including Gâteau de Boer. It's the greatest treasure in Fontaine's culinary world. And only the present and former head chefs of the Hotel de Boer have the
Present and former? Wait, but that already includes Savannah, though.
What do you want that old thing for? You have your own copy, don't you?
Don't take me for a fool. You know perfectly well what I mean. I want your copy. The original version. The one you took with you when you left us.
I'm sorry, I must be missing something. You know, there's no difference between the original and the copy, right? They contain the exact same recipes.
Stop trying to change the topic. What's wrong, Escoffier? Scared you're gonna lose to me? Or are you scared of me getting my hands on the original codex?
Savannah, you may remember that we gave her the original as a parting gift, to thank Escoffier for her years of service.
Oh, I'm sure it won't be an issue, as long as both sides agree to the terms. Those were your words, weren't they? And as for the contest itself, let's make it a bake-off. Gâteau de Boer, per the recipe in the codex. Well, Escoffier, you against me. Are you in, or...
You sound surprisingly confident. Alright then, let's see how much you've actually grown. I hope you surprise me, Savannah. I'd hate to find out that all you've learned after this long is how to chew people's heads off.
Believe me, I'll show you.
Escoffier, are you sure this is a good idea? You accepted her terms a little hastily.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's head back to the Fleuve Cendres so I can get prepping.
A ver qué dice el jefe.
I do
¿Tú no eras el jefe? Bueno, chaval, que se te ha ido de las manos, ¿no? Que lo quiera leer esto, adelante. Perfecto. Bueno, tenemos que volver a la parte baja. Justamente ahí. Bien, pues ya hemos llegado. A ver qué ocurre ahora.
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking. So if she won't talk, this might be the best way to find out what's really going on with her.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
¿Y por qué tiene tanta fijación por ese códice de Boer?
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modeste's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. For instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de Bourg was made using a special secret ingredient. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was one of the most blissful and invigorating things they had ever tasted. Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Bourg, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world, especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius, and over time, the recipes from his adventure log became known as the Codex de Bourg.
Ah, Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex, the Hôtel de Bourg took its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land, serving those recipes for centuries to come.
What? No, of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How can any restaurant survive if they only served food that was popular last century? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. Then, Modeste passed away while he was still in his prime. And that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bourg's heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap tables. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in Liue's martial arts novels? Where the
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't meet the tastes of modern diners by following some ancient recipes from a dusty old book.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why though? Didn't that recipe make it into the Codex?
It did, but like I said, it's a dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. But ultimately, the Gâteau de Bourg of today is my own recipe. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 16 slices a day, well, you've got Vanigem's business sense to thank for that.
Oh! Huh. Well, that kind of takes all the mystique out of it.
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Bourg, but it's still the most delicious cake in Fontaine today. And who knows? Maybe Escoffier's version is more suited to your palate. Just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're imagining it to be, there's no way the recipe would have been lost to history, right?
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef, I made a copy of all the recipes from the Codex, including my own improved versions, and turned them over to Savannah.
So why is she so interested in the original copy? Could it be a symbolic thing? Like, whoever holds the original Codex de Bourg is the true head chef?
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, Savannah only got a copy. Maybe from her point of view, it's like management doesn't truly see her as being worthy of the role.
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place.
What? Huh. Guess she's had a major change of heart since she became head chef.
Who knows? We could speculate forever. Better to just let our gâteau do the talking.
¿Qué quieres decir?
It means vesting her in this bake-off, and then getting her to explain herself, even if I have to beat it out of her with a spatula.
Qué directa.
However much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride. And if she respects the art, she'll respect the outcome of our contest.
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Froment. All you need to do now is win the contest. But that should be a breeze for you.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de Bourg is very complicated to make. Usually, it takes 3 chefs working in tandem to cover everything. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I can find a couple of assistants in time.
Well, that's easy. The three of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick two of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be warned, I will hold you to
Estoy listo.
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after your scathing review. Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it. I'll show you what I'm made of.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place. Show me your knife skills.
Vale, estupendo. Muéstrale tu destreza con el cuchillo. Usa ataques normales para cortar fruta. Tal... sustancia
I've
maravillosa.
always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia.
Ya está, cállate.
Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward.
¿Qué es eso?
A kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking ingredients.
Muy bien.
But this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Adelante. Vale, muestra cómo se usa el exprimidor. Pulsa una vez la habilidad elemental. Luego usa ataques normales para hacer que la máquina funcione. De acuerdo. Primero habilidad elemental. Tuyo que es así. Tiene que ser más baja. Pues ahora, vale. Hay que mantener la debilidad elemental presionada, comprendo.
And done. These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. What next? Do we...
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely.
Veamos, ¿qué hay que hacer ahora? Aprende a usar la habilidad especial de Escoffier. Los extractos creados con el mecanismo pueden ajustar el perfil del sabor del plato. Ajusta el perfil del sabor para que el plato tenga un equilibrio entre sabor frutal y sabor floral y que quede delicioso. Bueno, veremos.
Slowly and carefully.
Venga, adelante. Haz clic en el extracto. Vale, pues... Oh, bien, lo hemos hecho bien. Qué bien, qué bonito. Condimentación completada. Qué bien, joder, qué bien.
And voila. Now it's your turn.
De acuerdo. Añade los condimentos siguiendo las instrucciones de Escoffier.
Not terrible, considering this was everyone's first time blending flavor extract, but the Traveler's work was surprisingly good.
Soy una máquina, todo gracias a las brillantes enseñanzas de mi maestra.
That goes without saying. Still, credit where credit's due. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel du Bois' current menu. I'll judge your submissions.
¿Una evaluación general?
That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product. It'll be good practice for the contest itself. Now get to it.
Venga, adelante. Vale, entonces, presenta un plato.
How's it going? Have you picked a dish yet? Choose
El más delicioso. Pues vamos a ver, o sea, tengo todo esto. Pan de ajo mismo. Adelante. La cara se ilumina cuando presentas tu plato terminado.
Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like to say. Now, let the grating commence.
Vale, bien, ¿no? ¿Ahora qué?
Pretty good, right? Not to brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to la food.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often, so...
That's 6 out of 100.
Toma.
What?
Oh. Pobre Paimon.
You
de
say
verdad.
you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an opera singer.
Aww.
Oh, me next. I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons less sugar than my previous ones.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like you just threw in whatever was left in the jar. 6 points.
Aw.
Vaya, qué estricta.
Now to the final dish.
So, what do you think?
This is our last hope.
8 points.
¿Qué? ¿Un 8?
Darn.
No.
That's barely higher than what we
A lo
got.
mejor sobre 10.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one
Lo sabía.
8 points out of 10. Maybe even 9 points.
What? How did you pull that off?
He ganado mucha práctica cocinando para ti, Paimon.
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills
Sin
in
duda.
the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish. The traveler's journey, with all its trials, tribulations, and setbacks.
Hey, you made that last part up! No way!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square. I guess you'll be taking the Traveler as one of your assistants then?
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 slot remaining. Maybe Paimon and Navia should keep practicing and see how it goes?
Chef Escoffier,
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing Gâteau de Bois, right?
And you think you're up to the task, do you?
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything you're doing for me and my family. I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me, I'd like to help you win this cooking contest.
¿Estás seguro de que estás físicamente preparado?
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Don't you worry. I'll be fine. I'm feeling much better now. I'm sorry. I know I've been rather useless these past few days, but not anymore. The fact is, I'm a fine chef, despite recent events. I've proven myself in the Hotel de Bois kitchen.
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de Bois?
I have not. But I'm fully rested now. I know I can handle it. I'll prove it. Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I can't seem to grip my knife.
Do it again! Again! Again!
I...
Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen, yes.
Dad, what's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What happened?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Ni yo me di cuenta.
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was, I would have stood up for you sooner.
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so ruthless toward you.
She sounds like the worst. Alright, another Savannah horror story.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find something wrong with it.
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it! In the trash now!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another earful from her.
Either straighten yourself out, or get out of my kitchen!
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me flashbacks of her yelling at.
Oh man, that must be awful.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Fama? You weren't a quitter when you were working for me. And even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that you still hadn't lost that determination to prove yourself.
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier as the shift went on. Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am just hopeless at this.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep issues at work here. Ones that won't be resolved by merely seeking compensation. I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach Savannah and talk this out.
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly, I'm in no state to help out.
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will still keep practicing, just in case.
And so will I.
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula to put out an emergency call for chefs.
Actually, I thought maybe I could help. That's sort of why I'm here.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then... Well, this is the first chance I got.
You do this for us? Thank you so much, Monica.
Alright, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah? Joining the other side seems like a guaranteed way to put your future employment in jeopardy.
I know, but it's alright. I've made up my mind. But the way things are, I can't keep working for Savannah much longer anyway. I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then I'm sure she'll forgive me for this.
Esperemos que tenga razón.
Well, Paimon didn't think we'd be poaching from Savannah's staff to get our third person, but there you go. Anyway, Monica's a professional chef, so nothing could possibly go wrong there.
Great! Then it's settled. And to congratulate you all on making the team, I propose a Spina-sponsored meal to set...
Spina-sponsored? Wait, you mean I'm cooking?
Well, I promised the traveler a feast in the Fleuve Cendre. And I know how much you've been looking forward to it.
Yeah! Feast, feast, feast!
Yo también quiero ayudar.
Alright, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food of your lives.
Escoffier agasaja a todos con un espectacular festín. Bueno. Optó por una gran variedad de platos. Por suerte los dos somos los bastante habilidosos como para que, aunque sea la primera vez que trabajamos juntos, nos hayamos compenetrado muy bien.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Wait, hold on. You need to finesse that further.
He repartido muchos elogios y también me ha enseñado muchísimo. El tiempo pareció pasar volando.
That was a dream come true. Paimon never knew Fontanian cuisine could be
Bueno.
this good.
Vamos a ver qué quiere Escoffier.
Why, Savannah?
¿Qué miras?
Oh, nothing. I was just flicking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. That might explain why Savannah's so desperate to get her hands on it. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes in between diary entries from Modeste's adventuring phase. The copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience.
Bueno, para ella probablemente no se trate de lo útil que sea, sino por ser orgullo de chef.
Yeah, maybe. Still, it's just hard for me to imagine that the Savannah I knew would go to all this effort just to make a point.
¿Fueron amigas?
We were. At least I always thought we were. She was a little shy, but meticulous with everything and everyone she dealt with. She made a few mistakes here and there, but she was quick to correct them whenever they were pointed out. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause Fama and the other staff so much
grief. ¿Te sientes
grief.
responsable por ello?
Well, I mean to an extent, of course. I pushed hard for her to get the role. And the idea that she turned out like this because of me is difficult to come to terms with. I wonder if this is how Modeste felt back when he was writing the Codex.
Hablando de Modeste, ¿a él no le pasó algo parecido?
Yes, with his good friend and co-founder at the Hotel de Boer, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Boer and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But his newfound fame slowly drove him and Savelli apart. Unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks at every turn. Doors that would swing wide open for Modeste would shut in Savelli's face. And with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, he had less and less time to discuss the culinary arts with Savelli. People started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between the two gradually soured.
¿Y qué pasó al final?
Everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the prime of his life and still hailed as a genius, and that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to properly reconcile. Their story just came to an end. One rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy, even as the latter was hoping to make amends.
¿De verdad?
Unlikely. It's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted of a crime. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do is try to make sure the present doesn't quite go as badly. And that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow. Then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her open like a nut.
Conmigo en el equipo no perderemos.
Really? Well, I like the confidence. Don't let me down tomorrow then. You better bring your A game.
Bueno, hemos terminado la forma de la fama.
Let's hope that's a...
De acuerdo. Y empieza en llamas. Espera hasta el día siguiente, 12-16 horas. Por lo tanto, rápidamente lo hacemos ahora. Se acabó.
It's cooking contest day to the Hotel de Boer. Toot sweet.
De acuerdo, ve al bistró Desbord, que es justamente allí. Vale, pues...
Did you hear the news? Escoffier's coming back for a cooking contest.
Wait, seriously? Escoffier in a cooking contest? Now that I've got to see.
I don't get it. Why would anyone in their right mind challenge her to a cooking contest?
Bueno, clientes chismosos. Nada nuevo.
Mesdames et messieurs, welcome one and all to the Hôtel de Boer and to this most exciting of cooking contests.
Savannah, I brought the original copy of the Codex you asked for.
Monica?
In the interests of fairness, this contest will be conducted in a double-blind format. Once the dishes are complete, they will be sent to the back of the kitchen where they'll each receive a label. The labels will be placed out of sight underneath the plates, only to be revealed after the judges have sampled them and reached a final verdict.
As one of the judges, I promise to be fair and impartial.
When my meal got interrupted yesterday, I never thought this is how they'd make it up to me. Getting a seat on the judging panel is a pretty sweet deal.
Both contestants have taken their positions. Then, without further ado, let the Hotel de Bord cooking contest commence!
De acuerdo. Completa... Bueno, esto tiene que estar guapo. Prepara un gâteau de bord con una precisión capaz de enorgullecer a Escoffier. Puedes comenzar el proceso de condimentación en la mesa de condimentación de los extractos y la mesa de cortar o el exprimidor. Para asegurar la intensidad del sabor se debe añadir suficiente cantidad de ambos condimentos. Una vez que se alcance la cantidad mínima de ingredientes requeridos, reequilibra los sabores y ¡voilá! Vale.
Monica, Traveler, it's go time. Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right?
Vale, vamos a ir viendo.
Gaspar, get to work. Do not disappoint me.
Looks like our two head chefs are raring to go. Like an oven on full blast, this competition is quickly heating up.
Vale, entonces hay que condimentar, pero creo que... Claro, ya entiendo. Hay que pillar azules. ¿Y las azules dónde coño están? Porque claro, debe ser esto. Ahora sí, ¿no? Ahora sí va, media hora después, tío, madre mía. Habré hecho una transición porque esto es catastrófico, tío. No, sí, estaba claro que era de esa forma, pero bueno, el juego es gilipollas, tío. Venga, a ver. 3 5 5 2. Ahora sí, hecho. Ha sido fácil, pero ya sabéis que, bueno, el juego parece tonto, tío. Media hora para entenderlo. O sea, lo he entendido a la primera, pero no lo detectaba, no sé por qué. Bueno, pues ya está. Vale. Hombre, y tanto que puedo. Continúa preparando el siguiente piso del pastel. De acuerdo. El siguiente piso, ¿eh? O sea, aquí necesito 4 rojas. O sea, ¿sería suficiente con esto? Vale, pero hay que añadir cositas.
Alphonse, what are you playing at? That's not how I taught you to do it. Stop horsing around.
Afrutado.
Yes, chef.
Esto no va bien, tío. Vuelve a pasar lo de antes. No sé. No hay que mantener presionado. Simplemente hay que hacer el ataque elemental y ya está. ¿De acuerdo? Vale, entonces 4. Necesito una de una. Que esto es fácil. Cuando salga una. Vale, tengo una idea. Pongo 2. Ah, no, ahora no. Ahora no funciona esto. A ver, necesito una. Mira, justo. ¡Oh, oh, oh! Venga, vamos. Solucionado. Facilísimo.
So, what do you think?
Vale, continúa preparando el último piso del pastel. El piso 3. Bueno, oye, el pastel yo, si pudiera, lo probaría. Lástima que no puedo. Añade al menos 2 y 2. Hostia, necesitamos mucho azul, Y me salen muchas de las rojas, tío. O sea, de 5 y 6. Lamentable. Bueno, de hecho necesito más rojas que azules, es cierto. Ahí la he cagado, puto juego. Vale. Necesito 5 de rojas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. Solucionado. Facilísimo. Os lo dedico, chavales.
You can't match Escoffier's talent.
No creo que oficialmente se pueda perder, ¿no?
Gato de boar.
De acuerdo. ¡Qué bonito! El toque final. ¿Y mi trozo dónde está?
I was just exercising caution. I had to make sure everything was perfect.
Bueno, al principio hemos empezado mal, hemos tardado mucho por eso, pero bueno, es lo que hay.
Time's up! Contestants, please, take your dishes to the back.
That guy was right. You really can't tell whose is whose just by looking at them.
We both made the same dish after all. For all her flaws, Savannah's a talented chef who earned my recommendation for good reason. She wouldn't screw up something as elementary as the cake's appearance.
Whoa! This is really rather good.
Wonderfully soft and fluffy. Beautifully sweet. This is a masterclass in how to make gâteau de boar.
I would give this one at least 9.9 out of 10. Only because there's something about the flavor of the base. It's just a little different from the recipe I'm used to.
Huh? Really? I couldn't tell.
All right, on to gâteau number 2. I haven't had a single bite and already this aroma is a delight to the set.
I have a feeling that this gâteau will be a gâteau for the ages.
How exciting! I'm gonna dig in. I think maybe someone got a little carried away when they were adding the sugar.
Not just the sugar, it's the flavors too. This is all over the place. Who made this?
It appears the decision is unanimous. This gâteau is far below the standard we would expect.
And Paimon thought this might actually be close. Turns out she
Tal
can't
vez falló el
beat
trabajo en
Silver
equipo.
Wave.
Something's not right here. Savannah may not be perfect, but no way is she this sloppy.
I can now declare that the creator of the first gâteau has won this cooking contest. Now, all that remains is to turn the plate over and reveal the chef's name underneath.
What? It's Savannah?
No! That's impossible!
Hey, Savannah! You cheated, didn't you? You cheater! What did you do? Oh, you swapped the plates, didn't you?
Well, someone's a sore loser. These cakes went from the oven to the judge's table without me ever laying a finger on them. And everyone here can attest to that. It was Van Gem's staff who labeled them in the kitchen. If you're looking to accuse someone, why don't you start with them? Isn't it more likely that Escoffier's lost her edge? Oh.
You take that!
Judges, we demand a rematch.
That's enough. What's done is done. As head chef, or rather as team lead, I take responsibility for the dish I served. Savannah, I didn't think you'd stoop this low just to beat me in a bake-off. What happened to your chef's pride?
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you want the Codex de Boer that much, you can have it.
Escoffier, no.
But you must promise me that you'll apologize to Firma and compensate him for everything you put him through.
It's a little late to be negotiating terms. The contest is over and I won. That means you owe me the Codex, and I owe you nothing.
Look, Savannah, you may have fooled everyone else, but can you really fool yourself? What I'm offering is to accept defeat without looking to expose what you've done. But only on the condition that you promise to stop putting so much pressure on your staff.
Fine. I'll treat this as your final handover of duties from one head chef to the next. So, will that be all, ex-head chef?
Or I didn't mean that to be a scolding from your former boss. Just a word of advice from a fellow chef and a friend. But I don't know if you're even open to input from other people anymore.
I know what I'm doing. I don't need your advice.
All right, fine. I'm glad to hear it.
Escoffier!
The Codex de Boer! Finally. Now, at long last, I will succeed.
Escoffier? How could you let her get away with this?
Yeah! The Codex is a souvenir of your time here! Doesn't that mean anything to you?
It's alright. It was just a bake-off, not the end of the world. I'm already over it. Besides, it's not all bad. She agreed to compensate Firma. That's mission accomplished for the Spina. Honestly, if I'd have known that giving her the Codex would solve everything, I'd have just done that in the first place. I mean, why bother with the whole cooking contest? It's...
Por dentro seguro que está fatal, pero lo hecho está. Ha hecho trampa 100%, a mí no me engaña.
No! This doesn't make any sense!
Huh?
That's it? No secrets, no nothing? I don't believe it! This can't be happening.
Oh, Chef Savannah!
Savannah?
Savannah se desmaya tras ojear el códice.
It's nothing life-threatening. Just a lot of pent-up stress and exhaustion.
Oh, I knew it.
Pent-up stress?
The truth is, however hard she might be on the rest of us, the person she puts the most pressure on is herself.
Yes, there are nights when she makes us redo things over and over into the wee hours. But for her, it's every night. She'll hide herself away in the kitchen, working on new techniques and recipes, and only realize how long she's been at it when we come to work the following morning.
But why? What?
Our best guess is she doesn't want to be seen as less of a chef than a
And there it is.
Even so, that's no excuse for taking her anger out on the rest of you.
Yeah, and it's definitely no excuse for cheating in the cooking contest.
About that, we honestly have no idea how she did it. We were focused on our own work the whole time, like she asked.
Leone and Argalia were the ones I tasked with labeling the cakes. I've already spoken to them both. They're at a loss to explain it too.
Not to worry. Come on, join me downstairs. I'll interrogate the guilty gateau myself.
Muy bien, pues voy a interrogar al pastel. A ver, pastel, ¿sabes algo? Ya hemos encontrado muchas cosas que hablan, pues un pastel puede que también hable.
Oh, this is aggravated assault on my palate. I'd rather eat wet cement than this.
Is it really that bad? I made sure to taste test it before it was served.
Oh, relax. This isn't your cake. Savannah never switched the plates. The offending flavors are coming from in between the icing and the cake base, which means someone tampered with it while it was being made. Or in other words, we have a traitor in our midst.
I'm sorry. I was forced into it. It was Chef Savannah. She said if I didn't cooperate, she would...
Calm down, Monica. I've already accepted defeat. And if I wanted retribution, I would have brought this up when the results were announced. Whatever's going on with you, just spill the beans. There's no need to hide it.
I was the one who caused the food safety incident that one time.
Food safety? Wait, you mean the Lumaline incident? So you procured the contaminated ingredients?
I think so. Savannah and I were on procurement that day. I didn't check everything as well as I should have, and so I let contaminated ingredients make it into the kitchen. But I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea there was an issue with them, and I didn't know it would end up with Escoffier going to jail. But the last thing I expected was for Savannah to use it as leverage to blackmail me with...
This is crazy! So Savannah pressured you into sabotaging Escoffier's cake by threatening to expose your secret if you didn't?
I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. I was so scared. I thought Escoffier would hate my guts if she ever found out, and yet somehow that's ended up in me doing something even worse.
Seriously? All this fuss over a little slip-up? Firstly, it's not like I got a life sentence. I did my stint at the fortress, and now I'm out. So, you don't need to feel ashamed or frightened or anything like that. Any more than you need to add butter when you're pan-searing foie gras.
You mean... you forgive me?
Oh, well, I'm not saying you don't have to take responsibility for your mistakes. You should tell Vanagem to mark down your performance for the past few months. Then do some digging and find out exactly where those contaminated ingredients came from. Sure, you've made mistakes, but now's the time to fix them. Understood?
Understood.
Good. Now, back to Savannah. What about the original codex would compel her to resort to blackmail?
I have my suspicions. Not that I've got any proof to back them up, though.
Ugh. What happened to me?
I've overheard some customers murmuring about how the Hotel de Boer hasn't been the same since Escoffier left. They think our menu doesn't taste like it used to, especially our signature items.
¿Te refieres al Gâteau de Boer?
Now that you mention it, I noticed it during the contest too. I couldn't put my finger on it, but the flavor seems subtly different from how it used to. But the difference was so small, I'm sure no one would notice it besides our most loyal customers and true dessert.
Still, as head chef, it's easy to see why Savannah would get so hung up on it. So many times I've seen her make the cake base over and over again, late into the night, determined to match Escoffier's version.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Never really gave it much thought, though.
Thinking back on it now, it's clear that Savannah's been in a downward spiral ever since Escoffier left.
She wants to prove that she can fill Escoffier's shoes. That's gotta be the reason. But after countless setbacks, she's getting more and more unhinged. And at some point along the way, she switched from doubting herself to doubting Escoffier.
Doubting Escoffier? For what?
Ella cree que su códice era falso.
Yeah, it would explain why she was bent on getting the original at any cost. She must have thought Escoffier purposely omitted key details from her recipes when she copied them out. Also, she could retain her place as the #1 chef in Fontaine.
Oh, for goodness sake. What a stupid idea.
Of course. Then she finally got the codex only to discover that the secret recipes she's been pining for don't exist at all. Seeing how utterly wrong she was must have been a real shock to the system. It probably brought up everything at once. It overwhelmed her, and she passed out.
There's still one thing that doesn't make sense, though. If Savannah had the real recipe all along, how come it tasted different? She might not be on the same level as Escoffier, but surely after like 50 attempts she'd get it right one of those times.
You'd think so, but geniuses like Escoffier are in a league of their own.
Es ella la que ha ocultado la verdadera receta.
New head chef, you say? What's her name? I don't think I've heard of her before.
I wonder, can the Hotel de Boer keep its edge without Escoffier at the helm?
This tastes different from last time. Is it undercooked or something?
Consigue el códice original, cueste lo que cueste.
Take this. It's a copy of the Codex de Boer. From now on, you will be its keeper. Don't listen to the doubters. If I say you can do it, then you can do it. Even if you don't believe in yourself, at least believe in me. Hey, did you hear me? Once I'm gone, the restaurant is all yours.
Fuiste tú quien permitió que la Lumilina llegara a la comida, ¿verdad?
All this time, I've been blaming other people but maybe I'm the problem.
I sincerely apologize for putting everyone out. Savannah's awake now, but I don't think she's ready to speak to anyone yet. Let's give her the day to calm down. I'm sure you'll have the chance to talk everything out tomorrow.
In that case, I'll go and update Forma on his family. I wonder what he'll make of all this.
So, we'll come back tomorrow then.
De acuerdo, vámonos.
That was a long day. I think I've earned myself a sweet treat when I get back home.
Oh, nice! Macarons? Or are you gonna switch it up this time?
Traveler, how much do you know about the snow-winged goose?
Un poco.
Every year they migrate long distances in search of a suitable home. There's always one goose at the front whose job is to lead the flock. Fontaine poets often use the image of that goose to explore the ideas about leadership and genius. They usually imagine someone who's a cut above the rest, but what those poets don't know is that during a migration, the lead goose is always changing. Once the lead goose shows signs of fatigue, it retreats to the back of the flock and allows another goose to take its place. So the truth is that leadership, with all the responsibilities and pressures that come with it, it's something that everyone takes turns at. But we humans completely miss that.
¿Estás hablando de ti, de Savannah?
I guess what I'm saying is, I don't buy into this notion that there's some sort of gulf between normal and genius. Cooking is a science, not magic. Given the same ingredients, same recipe, and same environment, I see no reason why two different people shouldn't be able to create the exact same dish. Of course, some people have a more sensitive palate than others, and some people are just born bolder or more conscientious. But these are all variables that can be accounted for with time and practice. I'd have no reason to expect so much from others if I believed that perfection can only come from the hands of a genius. The only reason I hold people to high standards is because, well, I believe they're capable of
Creo que es algo estupendo en lo que creer.
Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna get to the bottom of why Savannah failed. And come tomorrow, I'll give her the scolding of her life, pointing out all the mistakes she's made along the way.
Pues muy bien, se acabó. En llamas, superada. Ahora toca cobertura escarchada. Espera hasta el día siguiente a las 5 y 7. A ver qué dice. Bueno, pues... hasta las 5 o 7, de acuerdo. A ver, hora. Bueno, justo aquí. Estupendo. Busca a Escoffier en el bistró The Board.
Why are we here so early? Our meeting with Misión isn't for a while.
Quería ver cómo está Escoffier.
Check on her? Why? What happened? Oh no. Escoffier, are you alright?
I'm fine. Just need to get some more coffee in me.
Aunque te has pasado la noche en vela.
Huh? What happened to my coffee? Did I really drink it all?
Deja que te traiga uno.
Alright. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, there's cooking facilities here. Or we could just grab a cup of coffee from Café Lutèce, but either way, hurry!
Vale, entonces... compra un café... Ah, claro, por supuesto, es lo que quiero hacer. Vale, tenemos que ir justamente ahí. Vale, aquí estamos. A ver qué pasa. Esto lo vamos a hacer rapidito. Hola, hola. Un café. Para una amiga. Sí, sí, sí. No sé qué puede haber interpretado, pero no importa. Debo llevarle este café a Escoffier cuanto antes. De acuerdo, pues ya está, ¿no? Volvamos. Bueno, aquí tenemos el café exclusivo del Café Lutecia. He estado comprando recetas en esa tienda de ahí delante. He aprovechado. Pero bueno, vamos a entregarle este café.
Coffee. Need coffee.
Vale, pues ahora hay que entregarle algo más. Esto tiene buena pinta. Pues esto mismo. Adelante.
Strong, bitter coffee beans, transformed through expert brewing and balanced perfectly with rich, creamy steamed milk. I feel much better now. Thank you so much, Traveler in Paimon.
Glad to hear it, but make sure to catch up in your sleep when you get the chance.
¿Cómo va la investigación?
I think I figured out where the problem lies. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Wait, what investigation? What are you guys talking about?
I'll save it for when everyone else gets here. It's so stupidly small.
Pues mira cómo tienes la cocina.
Yes, except my failures were stepping stones to success.
Escoffier, have you seen Savannah?
Huh? No, not since yesterday. Why? What's wrong?
After seeing her home yesterday, we were all a little concerned about how she was doing. So, I dropped by her place early this morning to check on, only to find an empty house with the doors. What? I left Alphonse and the others to keep watch at her home, while I checked the Hôtel de Bord. I'm worried something bad might have happened. If she's not here, then where could she be?
Boss, Escoffier, bad news.
Alphonse? You're supposed to be keeping watch at Savannah's house.
We were, but then, just after you left, we found...
Oh, looks like a map with a bunch of random places circled. What does it mean?
Wait a second. This feels familiar. I'm sure these places are all connected somehow. Of course, from the Codex. They're all places that Modeste explored on his adventures.
El fundador del bistró de Bord.
Yeah, but I don't understand. The adventure logs in the Codex are too fragmented to be of any use.
The Codex de Bord? Then, this place marked in red out at sea. Could that be the fabled birthplace of Gâteau de Bord?
Seriously? So now she set her sights on finding the original recipe and beating Escoffier that way?
Ugh, idiot! Does she have a death wish? Those ruins are thousands of years old.
Hold on, there's more. Besides the map, we also found these letters.
Bueno, la verdad es que no voy a leerlo, pero ahí lo tenéis. Adelante.
It was you. You let the Lumaline through, didn't you? It sounds like a threat letter. Does this mean that Savannah was responsible for the safety incident?
Retrieve the Codex by any means necessary. So the cooking contest and the cheating. Someone else was behind her pulling the strings?
She's keeping the true recipe to herself.
Ugh, this is all such a mess. Paimon needs a second to process this. First, we thought that Savannah forced Monica to cheat in the cooking contest. But now, it turns out that someone else forced Savannah to force Monica to cheat.
¿Fue Savannah la que chantajeó a Mónica? ¿Y si en realidad fue justo al contrario? Mientras tanto, en algún lugar del fondo marino.
You're finally here. Of course. I should have put two and two together as soon as I read your threat letter. The food safety incident. The demand for a cooking contest. The instruction to blackmail Monica. Even the suggestion that Escoffier was keeping secrets from me. It was all part of your grand plan, wasn't it, Monica?
Vale, entra en la ruina submarina.
Of all the stupid things she's done, this really takes the cake. The moment we find her, I'm gonna curse the living daylights out of her.
Vale, pues el objetivo es seguir bajando, no hay más. Vale, pues aquí estamos. Estupendo. Vale, desafío de un jugador. Voy a elegir a Bennett en lugar de Ascara. Y así todos contentos. Intuyo. Empezar. Vale, pues bueno, afortunadamente también tenemos a Escoffier con nosotros. No creo que haya algún cofre, ¿no? Hasta aquí. A ver qué nos depara este lugar, ¿eh? Estamos en el fondo marino y aquí debería estar Mónica. Qué guapo este lugar, ¿eh? Está guapo. Las cosas hay que reconocerlas. ¿Y ahora qué?
Whoa, this place looks like an underwater restaurant, doesn't it?
Sí.
Suddenly, the idea of an adventure chef finding secret ingredients makes a whole lot more sense.
I think Modeste's Codex mentioned this place. A public bath from the time of Remoria. So yeah, definitely the kind of place that would have served food and drinks.
Increíble, ¿no? Tuvo que ser increíble.
Huh? Some blubber beasts have come to join the party? How did they get here?
Tremendo.
They ran off.
Parece que les da miedo a la gente.
That could be easier said than done. Something's blocking the entrance.
Well, did Modeste mention it in his adventure logs by any chance? They must have gotten through somehow.
Good point. Yes, that's right. It's coming back to me now.
We prepared a banquet for our shy little guests, and as the food flowed away on the current, they broke into a joyous chorus, and the path opened to us.
We have to feed the blubber beasts? With what? There's nothing here besides rocks, romaritime flowers, and lumitoile. See, this is why you should always bring snacks. You never know when you're gonna need them. Now we have to head all the way back.
There is no time for that. Romaritime flowers and lumitoile will have to do. They may not look appetizing to us, but who knows? They could be blubber beast delicacies.
Wait, we're seriously gonna try?
Bueno, recolecta las flores rociomarinas y lumistelas de los alrededores. Hay que probar, Paimon, cállate. De acuerdo. Entonces, ahora el objetivo es... Estas son las rojas. Necesito 4... Bueno, quizá hago 3 y 2. Es decir, si yo pongo esta, quedan 2 rojas. Vale, me voy a quedar a una roja, Necesito una roja. O pido mucho. Una roja. Una roja. No, sí, veréis que no consigo la roja. Es increíble, tío. Bueno, puedo seguir, ¿no? Ahí está. Ahí está la roja. Ahora sí. Conseguido. Condimentación completada. Perfecto.
Blubber beasts or not, are we sure this stuff is edible?
Trust me, they'll love it.
¿Pero cómo haremos para dárselo?
Good question. If we try to put them in the pool, we'll probably just scare them off again, and who knows how long they'll be gone.
Yes, we can't afford to wait for them to double back. Oh, what was it that Modeste said again? Something about the food flowing away on the current.
Bueno. Entrar a través del canal. O sea... Intuyo que entregar comida. No se han conectado los canales. Vale, ahora sí comprendo. Vamos a girar de nuevo. Bueno, vamos a entregar esta. Parece que esta sirve para entregarla allí. ¿Puedo ir girando esto? Vale, de momento no puedo. Pero parece que lo vamos a conseguir, ¿verdad? La foca se come el plato alegremente. No sabe si es impresión, no sé qué. Muy bien.
It's really singing. It must taste better than Paimon thought.
Vale, una alimentada. A por la otra. Ahora sí hay que girarlo a la derecha. Y yo intuyo que... Ah, tenemos que crear más. De acuerdo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Necesito 6. Ya está. Tranquila. Esto es fácil. Solucionado. Nada, son matemáticas puras, infallable. Vale. Ahora hay que girar esto. Hay que vigilar porque por lo visto tiene tiempo, Ahora sí se han conectado. Perfecto. Pues ya está, lo vamos a conseguir, señores. Qué bonito lugar, De verdad que me parece espectacular, brillante, sensacional, majestuoso. Vale, lo mismo de antes. Pues ya está, continúa avanzando. No sé si habrá algún cofre por aquí. Yo no he visto nada. Se ha abierto. Cofre. Bien, se agradece. Vale, estupendo. Nos podemos ir. Creo que no hay ninguna cosa más. Así que ahora sí, toca partir, señores. Ha estado bien. Tengo muchos platos yo que aprender a hacer, pero... de momento reúno unas buenas recetas. Pero quiero sumar más. Breves momentos antes.
Hey, give me your water. Here. I said your water, the one you just drank out of? Sure. All those years slaving away under Escoffier, and then you. Today, it's finally paying off. Not only have I found the ruin that Savelli kept hidden, but I also get to boss you around like my... Hey, go scout ahead for me. If we need to do any more blast tunneling, I want to know where to lay the explosives. Did you not hear me? Get going.
Why don't you do it yourself?
Oh, when did you learn to fight back? You're always so compliant when I give you instructions by letter.
That's because you threatened to expose me for the Lumiline incident. I swear, if I'd known what you were planning, I'd never have...
Ha! Don't be so self-righteous. Admit it, you've always been jealous of Escoffier. That's why you lapped up everything I told you. You were terrified of her finding out about your part in the Lumiline incident, and you resented the way her reputation hung over you. So you jumped at the chance to convince yourself that she was the villain, that she deliberately hid her secret recipes from you just to hold you back. First, idolization, then jealousy, suspicion, and self-deception. That's what this comes down to. It was the same story with Savelli and my ancestor. He offered Modeste his friendship, only to murder him out of vanity. He promised to explore the world with him, only to later destroy all records of their adventures. It's a miracle I even found this place. You have no idea the countless hours I spent piecing it all together. So you see, you're no better than Savelli.
I am no Savelli. Nor—
Oh, put a lid on it. You really think you can absolve yourself of your vindictive and jealous behavior now? You didn't show any remorse when she left, or in the cooking contest. Why start now? You have no right to redemption.
You're right. I don't deserve her forgiveness.
But I am done being bullied into submission by you!
Ooh, feisty. But you should watch your tone. Talking to me like that could...
I somehow doubt that. Since I poisoned both our water bottles.
What?
Ever since I learned the truth. I've been biding my time, waiting for this moment. You've played me like a fiddle for so long, and now this is payback!
But you drank it too!
It's what we both deserve. This is the price we must pay for betraying Escoffier. You'll die here with me, Monica!
You...
What's so funny?
Oh, you're too much. I thought I'd play along for a bit just to amuse myself. You gave a very rousing performance. I saw your dumb plan a mile off. There's no poison in these bottles, just clean, fresh water.
No.
Revenge is a dish best served cold, you know. Did you really think your half-baked plot would fool me? You're a lousy chef, and you make a lousy villain, too. A complete waste of space.
Everything I ever did was a failure. And now, I failed again.
Hey, why don't you try your hand at being a comedian in your next life? You got a good laugh out of me. But now the show's over. You should have just done like I asked, Savannah. All I wanted you to do was scout the ruins for me. But you had your chance, and now it's time to say goodbye.
Stop right there! Let her go, Monica! We've got you surrounded!
Escoffier?
Ugh, looks like I'll have to keep you around for a little longer.
You can't!
Stay back if you want her alive! Escoffier and the Traveler. I can't take you both on in combat, but if you so much as flinch, I can...
Monica, what are you hoping to achieve by this?
You're about to commit murder, and for what? A recipe?
A recipe? You chefs are all blinded by your myopic focus on kitchen affairs. Well, some of us actually have bigger fish to fry. Modeste had a secret. The truth behind his so-called genius, the je ne sais quoi factor in his gâteau de bois, and it's right here in these ruins.
Are you serious? You're here because of a gâteau de bois obsession?
I couldn't care less about the cake itself. No, the real treasure is the secret ingredient that Modeste sourced from these ruins. He and Savelli were fools. A priceless treasure of Remoria in the palms of their hands, and they thought, ooh, this would go great in our cake mix. We're talking about a powerful stimulant that also sharpens the senses. That's no cooking ingredient. It's a groundbreaking drug. That's right, I've done my research. It was a drug that Remoria developed for their war machine. I could make a killing by selling it to the treasure hoarders or the Fatui.
Won't you listen to yourself? You're completely delusional.
My eyes are wide open. Just wait till I get my hands on this treasure. You'll...
Wait, what's that sound?
Just when I thought she couldn't get any crazier. She's lucky the whole place didn't collapse.
Parece que aproveché la conmoción para escapar.
Uh-oh, Savannah's gone too.
Monica must have taken her. Oh, what a coward. She's only taken her hostage because she
Bueno, al menos no todos son malas noticias.
That's true. Even if she finds the treasure, she'll need Savannah alive if she wants to get out of here in one piece.
Efectivamente.
Well, our path's been blocked, so...
Venga, otro camino.
Let's look for another route.
Vámonos. A ver qué nos depara, señores. Busca en las cercanías un camino por el que avanzar. En las cercanías. Bueno, pues si por aquí no se puede, no sé.
The water looks pretty deep here. Maybe it leads somewhere.
Pero antes de bajar por el agua, vamos a mirar si hay algún cofre, que no creo. Pero por si acaso... No, no hay nada. Bueno, pues vamos al agua, señores. Tocará rezar. Perfecto. Vale, está claro que esto... Eso se puede romper. A ver si... Ahí era. Vale, de acuerdo, fácil. Un cofre ahí abajo. Lo estoy viendo. Solo hay un cofre. Bueno, pues estupendo. Yo por si acaso agarro esto. No voy a derrotar a esos enemigos. No creo que pase nada por hacerlo. Uy, ¿este qué? No creo que pase nada, ¿no? No. Pero raro, ¿eh? Está petrificado ahí. Bueno, desde aquí podemos salir. Pues salgamos. Oh, cuidadín. Joder, qué lento me va, tío. Vale, fácil. No hay nada más, ¿no? Aquí, entonces... Creo que no. Pues subamos. Vamos a ir con Escoffier. ¿Esto qué es? ¿Una lectura? Muy bien. Perfecto. Joder, qué tirones se pegan a veces. Dar por culo de la hostia esto. Vale, ahí arriba no puedo subir. Ahí tampoco, está todo derruido. Parece que ya estamos llegando al sitio. De acuerdo. Pues ahí tenemos a las dos focas y habrá que alimentarlas. Están guapos estos puzzles. Colocas los ingredientes sobre la mesa. Necesito 2 rojas. Vale, estos son 4 5 6 3. ¿Y el 2 qué? No sale, ¿no? Otro 3 5. Cuando quiera el juego, pues saldrá el 2. No sale el 2. Es experto en hacer perder el tiempo, ¿no? Este juego. Puto da güey. Ah, que siempre salen los mismos, ¿no? Estoy viendo. De acuerdo. Vamos a ir probando. Hay que ir probando un poco al azar también. Venga, 4 6 6 5 y 3. Felicidades. Soy una máquina. Te lo dedico, Dawei, por intentar ponerme trampas. No sé qué cojones es, pero a lo mejor me lo comía también. Vale, entonces hay que ir... Supongo que necesito primero girar esto. Adelante, coño. Vale, de momento bien. Esa va a llegar a la foca aquella y luego habrá que girar esto a la derecha y esto a la izquierda. Esta es la fácil. Vale, se da la vuelta, se levanta y devora el plato de un solo bocado.
It seems to really like the texture of raw maritime flowers.
Siempre me ha encantado el sonido que hacen las focas en este juego. Vale, pues hostia, necesitamos un montón azul. Bueno, un montón tampoco, la verdad. Voy a pillar unas cuantas. Mira, 3, ya tengo 3. Ya está. Suficiente. Facilísimo, ¿no? Qué bestia. Vale, entonces hay que girar la derecha primero y luego la izquierda. No sé si dará tiempo, pero lo vamos a intentar. Primero giramos esto y luego esta. Y ahora sí, adelante. Esperemos que no se gire nuevamente, si no habrá que cabrearse. Por favor, no te gires. Vale. Ha dado tiempo. ¡Eh! ¡Qué guarro! Solucionado. Vale, ahora sí, ha llegado. Vale, pues nada. Suficiente, ¿no? Ahora supongo que nos darán un cofre otra vez.
I never knew you could process Lumitwell like that. All right, I've got to jot this down.
Bueno, cada día se aprende algo nuevo. En la cocina siempre.
No
hay cofre. No me jodas, que no hay cofre.
Wait, hold on. Which door are you talking about?
Hasta ahí el cofre. Perfecto, adelante. Vale, pues sigamos. Uf. El fondo marino. Espectacular, ¿eh? Sencillamente espectacular. Joder, con los tironcitos, tío.
That's strange. These don't look Romorian to me.
Tampoco veo signos de deterioro.
Adventurers from last century Fontaine, huh? Oh, Modeste and Savelli, do you think they camped here?
By the looks of it, this was a one-person camp. They adventured together, but maybe one of them came back alone at a later date.
Bueno, echemos un vistazo.
You really think so?
Trust our adventurers' instincts. We're pros at this stuff, just like you're a pro in the kitchen.
Bueno, mayormente puedes confiar en mi profesionalidad.
Okay, well, the Traveler has more adventuring experience overall, but Paimon's definitely a pro rummager from all.
Y bingo, aquí está.
Paimon was just about to show off her rummaging skills.
Huh, no kidding. Are all adventurers so obsessed with journaling? I mean, I guess I take a lot of notes when I'm cooking as well, but I thought that was just me.
Anyway, let's find out who was here.
Vale, a ver.
It's been years since I've last visited these ruins. It's exactly the way I remember it. This place probably hasn't changed in millennia. Sadly, up above, on dry land, everything has changed. The treasure of Remoria. That's what we used to call it. Modeste was right about its potential. It turned Gâteau de Bourg into a national sensation. Our limited stock of the substance meant that the gâteau could only be produced on a small scale. But this only drove up the popularity all the more. Modeste was right about that too. He was praised as a genius, while I, as the one person who'd ever disagreed with him, was labeled a talentless fool. Modeste tried his best to console me, but I knew better than anyone just how great the gulf was between us. Our conversations grew scarce, and we saw less and less of each other. I didn't fight it. He had new friends and a career of his own. Why invite further disdain by inserting myself where I did not belong? I told myself that maybe one day, when I finally created a masterpiece of my own, I'd be able to face him without shame. Or maybe one day, when I've put these feelings of self-loathing behind me, I'd be able to ask him with a smile on my face, how about we go on one more adventure? Unfortunately, that day will never come.
So it was Savelli. From the sounds of it, he came back after Modeste had already died.
I always thought it was just a legend. But if it's true, then this must be the place where they found their secret ingredient. The birthplace of Gateau de Boer.
In that case, what does that say about the death of Modeste? If it's all true, maybe Savelli really did have something to do with it.
The taste of Gateau de Boer has changed. Modeste was convinced of this, even though everyone swore they couldn't tell. Being the perfectionist that he was, he refused to accept even the slightest flaw in his work. He stopped all sales of the product, locked himself away in the kitchen, and worked day and night. But as he baked and taste tested over and over again, he found he only strayed further and further from the original taste. It was only when he was sipping on coffee one day and realized he could not taste the bitterness that the truth finally dawned on him. What had changed was not the gâteau, but his sense of taste. The treasure of Remoria stimulates the senses, taste included, and invigorates the spirit. In the short term, it offers people the ultimate gourmet experience. In hindsight, it made perfect sense. After all, why would a culture that sought liberation from the constraints of their bodies care for the loss of their senses? But we realized it too late. Over the course of his many culinary experiments, Modeste exhausted the remaining supply of the treasure of Remoria. He consumed it all himself. The finest culinary talent of his generation now faced a future in which he would never be able to taste anything ever again. Finally, in despair, he took his own life. And because we had become estranged, I could not be there to stop him, to offer some words of comfort, or even to say goodbye. Yet despite everything, he sent me his final letter.
The treasure of Remoria? Guess Monica was really onto something. It really was a kind of drug.
So, Modeste chose to end his own life. Then, why all the rumors that Savelli murdered him? Also, neither the Codex nor any other contemporary records make any mention of the treasure of Remoria. It's almost as if someone deliberately erased it from history.
Modeste told me everything in his final letter. His was a tale of how even a genius could fail, and how much more devastating it is when it happens. Did he hope I would gain some personal catharsis from knowing the truth? Or maybe he wished for me to warn the public about the dangers of Gateau de Boer. But if the public ever learned how Modeste's greatest triumph became his undoing, his fall from grace would be swift and merciless. What would be his legacy then? How would future generations view everything we built together? I fear the scorn I have faced these last years would pale in comparison to the scorn shown to him by the history books. I cannot let that come to pass. I will do what I must to protect his name. It will mean tampering with his notes to remove the damning details, leaving mere fragments of our story behind. It may lead his family to suspect me of having a hand in his demise. But if that's the price of destroying all evidence of my crimes, then so be it. I would rather the world believe a tale of genius and jealousy than see his reputation in tatters. The final loose end is the evidence here, at the bottom of the sea.
No, no, tenemos que detener a Mónica.
What's wrong?
Increíble,
Didn't
¿no?
we say Savannah should be safe for now?
So we thought, but if Monica finds out what happened to the treasure, there's no telling what she might do.
Buah, increíble, a ver. Hay que ir por ahí, aquí no hay cofres. Bueno, entonces se ha manipulado la historia, pero para, de algún modo, que su amigo fallecido, su difunto amigo, no perdiera la reputación. Qué bonito, de verdad. Si ese no es un acto de amistad, nada lo es. De acuerdo, pues vamos a ver.
The treasure of Remoria. I have found you at last. Savelli, you tried your best to bury the truth, but you underestimated the children of Modeste. Some fragments of his diary escaped your clutches. But I have to thank you too, Savannah. Without your help retrieving the codex, and with it the last piece of the puzzle, I may never have found this place. But now, finally, the secret to Remoria's military might is within my grasp. The treasure of Remoria is mine! Oh, it's empty. It's empty?
Monica? Oh, we were seconds too late.
Escoffier? What's the deal with that jar?
Savelli's final act! He wanted to conceal the secret of the treasure forevermore and make sure it would never harm anyone again. So he came here after his friend's death and destroyed every last shred that remained.
This can't be happening. All the years I spent piecing together the truth. All my painstaking planning. All that for an empty jar?
Monica, don't do anything stupid. This ruin is more dangerous than you realize.
Oh, shut your pie hole!
Praise be to Lord Remus. You barbarian shall be slain.
She's a nut.
Se lo merece, la verdad.
A liability to herself.
Claramente se lo merece, por tonta.
Well, now it's up to us to clean up the mess she's made. Take these golems out.
Uf, qué barbaridad acabo de hacer. Escapa de las ruinas, dice. Cuidado.
Why is this place still shaking?
¿Será por la pelea?
Either way, it's all her fault. Enough chit-chat. Let's get out of here, traveler.
Venga, vamos, vamos, no hay tiempo que perder. Vámonos.
Okay, I'm coming.
Cuidado.
Oh, no you don't. If I can't get what I want, neither will any of you.
¿Y esta cerda?
I've got nothing to show for my life's work so far. But if I can take another so-called genius down with me in my final moment, then it was all worth it.
You're a psycho.
Jódete.
Savannah? When did you wake up?
I may be a lousy chef, but it looks like I'm not a complete waste of space.
Oye, tenemos que irnos. De acuerdo, vámonos. Venga, va, rapidito. Que se queda ahí esa bruja asquerosa. Esa es una criminal. ¡Asesina! Es una auténtica psicópata, ¿eh? Esa Mónica, joder.
Escoffier! Savannah!
Traveler! And Paimon!
Venejem! What are you all doing here?
What did you expect us to do? Stay at the restaurant and sit on our merry derrieres?
We had to do something. Even though that something ended up being, well, waiting for you here instead.
I don't deserve any of you. And I certainly don't deserve to be your head chef. It was my fault Escoffier had to leave. Then I couldn't live up to her standards. I acted like a tyrant in the kitchen. And now I almost got myself killed. Come back, Escoffier. Come and be our head chef again.
Okay, so everything I said to you the day I left, it just went in one ear and out the other?
Huh? Sorry, I was kinda in my own head at the time. All I could think about was the Lumiline situation. What was it you said again?
Forget it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I didn't leave this job because of you. And you're not nearly as awful a chef as you think. If you were that bad, why would all your staff show up here for you?
Escoffier's right. Sure, you nitpick our work and get us to do things over a lot. But when it comes down to it, you're the one who's always doing whatever it takes to make sure the customers get served on time, every time.
Things were pretty rough after Escoffier left. And Savannah's the only reason we've been able to make it through.
Our customers know that Escoffier doesn't work for us anymore. But the fact is, they keep coming back. If that's not an endorsement of your work, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all make mistakes. All we can do is recognize where we get it wrong and do our best to improve.
No, I get what you're saying, but what I did to Firmin and to Escoffier, it's unforgivable.
Well, about that, there's someone else here to see you, Chef.
It's been a while, Chef Savannah.
Firmin, I'm so sorry. I put far too much pressure on you, and the way I stubbornly refused to go and see you after you fell ill. But I'm too late, aren't I? The damage is done.
Actually, I think I'm going to be just fine.
Huh?
We thought Firmin's problem was purely psychological in nature. But after the threat letter came to light, it got Firmin thinking. And as it turns out, she was lacing it with Lumaline the whole time.
No way! Doesn't that cause nerve damage?
It can. High doses pose a risk of serious nervous and sensory complications. A small dose might simply make a person more emotional, whether that means more fragile or more hot-tempered.
No wonder it seemed like you'd lost your edge.
I asked my friends at the Fontaine Research Institute about it. They said that with the low dose I was taking, the risks are pretty small. They also fixed me up with some meds.
Pareces mucho más seguro de ti mismo.
Well, that's what happens when you give someone a little bit of hope to cling on to.
There's more. We believe that Firmin was likely not Monica's only victim.
You mean she poisoned me too?
Oh, so that's why Savannah's been so irritable this whole time!
Let's not be too quick to blame everything on the Lumaline. That stuff can only amplify what's already there. So tasty food will seem like the most delicious thing in the world. So you better make sure you reflect on your behavior and apologize to every single person you've wronged.
I will. I'm sorry. There's still one question that's really bugging me. Why is it that no matter what I do, is it just... is it because you're a genius and...
It's because the heating element in your oven is broken, you silly goose.
What?
¿Eso es todo?
I felt like something was off during the cooking contest. Once I got around to checking all the equipment, I noticed it right away. There was a half-degree discrepancy between the temperature setting and the actual temperature. All the ovens in the whole kitchen had the same problem, which confused me at the time, but by this point, it's pretty obvious that Monica must have tampered with them. I would have figured it out the day of the bake-off, since the issue affected both our teams. But of course, Monica sabotaged mine so that could never happen.
No. I spent so long trying to find out where I was going wrong, and then you pinpoint the problem in just one night? It all comes back to one simple, undeniable truth. You're a genius. And I'm just plain old Savannah.
Oh, cut it out! Stop the woe is me act for a second and just think. I came up with this recipe. Do you know how long I spent perfecting my gâteau de bois? 3 years! 3 whole years! I know this dish inside out, back to front and upside down. And you've been head chef now for what, 6 months? If that? A couple hundred failed attempts, and you're gonna throw in the kitchen towel? You clearly have no idea how many kitchen failures I've had under my belt. Genius or not, everyone makes mistakes. Modeste did, Savelli did. You're only a lousy chef if you don't face up to your mistakes. Learn from them, and then keep chipping away until you crack the problem once and... Surely you haven't forgotten all that. You were no lousy chef back when I handed you the reins.
I haven't forgotten. And I'll make sure I never do.
That's our head chef.
Ha ha! Sounds like we won't need another changing of the guard in the Hotel de Bord kitchen anytime soon.
What a perfect ending to a crazy journey.
So you got your mojo back now?
Yeah. Thanks to you, Escoffier. In fact, no. Thanks to all of you.
Aw, friends again. So nice to see them finally settle their beef.
Sí, tal vez no todas.
Good. So now that's out of the way. It's time for payback. You cheated in our last bake-off, and I demand a rematch right now.
But that was mostly Monica's fault, wasn't it?
Right. And also, does it have to be right now? Savannah's only just got her mojo back, and you barely escaped from a death trap.
No excuses. This is a cooking contest between two top chefs, and nothing will stand in its way. So grab your spatula and get ready, because this rematch is happening today. Right now, this instant.
Hey, so, this whole time you were salty about losing?
Huh. Cuidado, escenaza.
The second cooking contest commences now!
This time, no more games, and no holding back!
I feel like I don't have the right to be here.
Hey, what are you so afraid of? You can't unbake it now. And if you don't serve it, then good or bad, you'll never find out how to improve. If you're too scared to fail, you'll never know what real success tastes like. So?
Embrace your failure. Taste it. Digest it. That's the way to success.
I don't know. Sounds like it's easier said than done.
I'll do it.
The results are in! A landslide victory for Escoffier!
Quite rightly, too. Piece of cake.
Su cola indica que está muy contenta con el resultado.
Oh yeah, look at that! Savannah looks pretty chipper too, considering she lost.
No has hecho esto por ti, ¿verdad?
Now, where were we? Yes. Do you have any more questions for me?
¿Qué planes tienes ahora?
I thought Navia would have filled you in. And actually, I said all this to Savannah before I left. Although, as we saw, I don't think any of it sank in. I had two reasons for leaving. One was the food safety incident, of course. But the other was that the Hotel de Boer had reached a point where it didn't need me anymore. So I decided to step down and look for new opportunities to improve myself.
Improve how?
Well, a while back, I got to know a fellow chef from Liyue. And in her, I saw so many new possibilities.
Estaba claro que era
She has that same adventurous spirit that Modeste and Sibeli had in their youth. Slime mucus, lizard tails. With her, nothing's off the table. There's a whole world of new flavors out there waiting to be explored, hiding away in ingredients we overlook. Case in point, remember those Romaritime flowers down in the ruins? I used them in the cooking contest just now. Did you taste the difference?
What? Paimon didn't notice at all.
Half of the art of cooking is dissecting the recipes of previous chefs and figuring out the exact constellation of elements that gave their work its signature taste. And the other half, it lies in freeing yourself from the confines of the kitchen. You've got to go out and explore the endless possibilities out there.
Uh-oh. Paimon's suddenly not sure she wants to try your cooking anymore.
Bueno, yo siempre estaré dispuesta a ser tu catador.
Don't worry, it's not going to be a free-for-all like in Modeste's time. In the meantime, take this. It's a recipe for Petit Gâteau de Boer revised version. I tweaked it to suit your needs as busy adventurers. Hope you enjoy, and remember, feedback is always welcome.
All right! So, do you ever see yourself returning to Hotel de Boer?
Oh, of course. I've already promised Vanishem that I'll come back every once in a while to make sure the quality of the food remains at an acceptable level.
Más vale que Savannah se ande con...
You know, Paimon's still a little disappointed that we never got to see the treasure of Remoria. Surely Monica wouldn't have gotten drawn in so deeply if it wasn't for all the mystery surrounding the original Gâteau de Boer. She practically dedicated her life to finding the lost pieces of Modeste's diary. Then went to all that trouble to infiltrate the Hotel de Boer. And in the end...
Bueno, su obsesión ha resultado ser poco más que una broma.
Since you mentioned the treasure, between Modeste's writings and what we saw in those ruins, I think I may have figured out the truth. The so-called treasure of Remoria was most likely a substance that the Remorians extracted from Lumitwals, better known to us as Lumiline.
Huh? So then, why all the hype back in the early days of Gâteau de Boer?
Don't forget, it was a very different era. We could barely even refine sugar back then, so desserts were very much in their infancy. In a world of bland food, it's no wonder that the first thing to really excite people's taste buds took the world by storm. And as for the Lumiline, it may well have been somewhat valuable in ancient times. But these days, it's just another drug from the Fontaine Research Institute. Even if Savelli hadn't destroyed it all, I doubt it would be worth that much these days.
So after all that, there was nothing in those ruins. Feels strange to say it, but Paimon almost feels sorry for Monica.
Tiene lo que se merece.
Hey! Huh? Navia? You just got back from that underwater ruin, right? Well, check it out. They ran a special issue. Did you see anything like this down there? Freshly unearthed from the ruins of Remoria. A magnificent jar thought to be over 1,000 years old. Experts say it has immense artistic and historical value. It could be worth an absolute fortune.
Wait, isn't that the jar they used to hold the treasure?
If only it was still in one piece. Some butterfingers must have dropped it or something. Ugh, it's such a shame.
Pero ¿cómo ha salido la vasija? Se supone que la vasija se había quedado ahí dentro, ¿no? O Mónica ha conseguido escapar. No sé, un poco raro eso. Bueno, nos dan la receta del Petit Gâteau de Boer, versión mejorada. No ha estado mal, pero bueno, mejorable a mi parecer.